So we're going to work the calves and the ankle mobility. So if you get a stick, a dowel, a brush, place it straight next to your baby toe. I'm going to lunge our left leg to the outside, so keeping the heel pressed into the ground. I'm going to lunge forward with that hip and really try to press the heel down and just stretch out that ankle. Go for about 10 reps on each side. Try and keep that stick up straight. Try and really focus on pressing the heel down. It's really important that you keep the heel down so that you feel that stretch in the ankle and towards the back of the calf into the Achilles. So as you can see from this angle, your knee is going out to the side, but trying to keep that foot straight. The next exercise we have coming up is going to be a crawl to a crab. So you can't really see it from that angle, but when I walk back, we're in that crawl position where I've got my hands underneath my shoulders, my knees are underneath my hips. So you can see it in this position. So that's the crawl position. Walk my hands back, looks like a low squat, then walk my hands back, keep my chest up tall, hold it like a crab, walk the hands back to crawl position, and then walk back to crab position. So it's just a nice little flowy movement to keep the ankles mobile. Try and keep you quite loose, and great to get down into that squat as well. So next we're going to get into a downward dog position, our feet just slightly apart. We're going to bend one knee, and as we bend the other knee, the other foot presses into the ground. So we're pressing the other heel into the ground, trying to keep our hips and back up if we can. So just hold for about 10 seconds on each side. Feel the stretch in the calf muscle down into the ankle. Make sure to keep that straight leg, keep the heel pressed into the ground. We can do the two together then, feet together. Give a slight bend of the knees so you don't feel the stretch in the hamstring as much, and so then you'll feel it down into the calf, because it's the calf really we're focusing on. You can do a second round if you want where you're focusing on the hamstring, but for now we're really going to try and focus on stretching out those calves and loosening out those ankles. So you can do a little test, come down into a deep squat and just see how comfortable your changes are. Next exercise we're going to look at is our dorsiflexion bounces. So I do actually have my heel off the ground here, and as I'm leaning forward I'm bouncing. So these are our dorsiflexion bounces. So the heel actually does come off the ground, but we're just trying to loosen out that ankle. So we're actually going for about 50 bounces on each side. So this one can take a really big effect. Really focus on pressing that knee forward. Take that heel up off the floor, bouncing into it. Go for 50 reps. Focus on driving forward, trying to get that knee forward more and more and more. So as we do this, this will pair up well with some of the other foot stretches we have done in the previous videos, like the peroneal stretch and shins stretching as well. So they'll work really well together. So try to get all this program working together. Again, retest your deep squat, see what it's like. We're down in a deep squat and we're just doing a little bit of loosening work, seeing where we're at with our ankles, mobilizing those joints a little bit. Great way to just play around. If you can't get down like this, have a pole or a wall beside you where you can. Now if you have just something raised that you can step onto, you'll be able to get down into that deep squat a little bit more, and we're just going to do some little rolls and bounces on our feet as we're in that deep squat position. If you have a 2x4 plank, that works just as well. The second exercise in this is running on the balls of our feet. Now as we run on the balls of our feet, we are getting the heel to drop at the very end, but we're running backwards on the balls of our feet with the heel touch at the very end. So we're not running on our heels, we are getting a heel touch though at the end. So this is a great little way to activate those muscles. Just short little sprints. Now this next one, we're going to have the balls of our feet resting on the elevated surface. So the back of our heel is not on the surface and our big toe is not on the surface. So we're trying to balance there. It's quite difficult, and it really does want to build up the strength in those arches. Really nice little balances. So go from side to side, keeping your heel and your big toe off the plank or the elevated surface. I'm using some of the weights from the studio in this example. See if you can come down into a squat. Very difficult without the balance of your big toe, but give it a try. Work on that ankle stability and the strength in those arches as you do that. Obviously something I need to work on there as well. Finding it very difficult to keep my balance. So it's nice to do a few rounds of those and just play around with it. Again, everything for about 10 repetitions or so.